Okay, we are here on the Surrey campus with a whole bunch of really excited students. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, you see, class 1, everyone's already bored. So this is for all the naughty students who didn't come to my first class. And you know who you are, and you will be getting an email from me. So I'm making this video for you so that you can get caught up, and this will be the only class that you miss. That's right, you just got sassed. Okay. So here we go. The staff, clefs, and ledger lines. This is the ABCs of music. This is the very, very, very basics. Music is written on a staff like this. We call this a staff, S-T-A-F-F. Come on. And you'll see that we have 5 lines and we have 4 spaces. And so we have the ability to put notes on the lines and the spaces. And every single one of these lines or notes represents a note on the keyboard. And a keyboard, we're going to use a keyboard as sort of the instrument that we put music onto because it's the easiest one for us to teach you, and I'll often show you things on a keyboard in class. So we have, in music, basically 2 clefs. The clefs are basically, they tell you how high or how low the notes are. So this clef here is called the treble clef. And the treble clef, what it tells us is these are the higher notes in music. So if you were a flute or a violin or a trumpet, you would be up high in the higher notes, or a soprano, like a woman soprano, your notes would be placed on the score in the treble clef. If you were a bass, this is called the bass clef. Bass clef is used for things like a cello or a tuba or a bass guitar or a really low man's voice. So that's not my voice. Like, who's got a low voice? Do you have a low voice? No, you got a high voice like me. Who's got a low voice in this class? Who's got the lowest voice? Anybody? Everyone's so shy, and you're missing it. All of you guys who didn't come to class, you're missing all this fun, by the way. Yeah. I'm just going to sass them through this whole class. Okay, so the lower instruments or the lower voices basically go in the bass clef. Any questions about treble clef or bass clef? Good. Everybody say treble clef. Everybody say that louder. Treble clef. Everybody say bass clef.
Bass clef.
And I'm watching, if I say, everyone say treble clef, and you go like this, I'll know that you didn't say it. And why is that? Because I can see you. Everybody say treble clef.
Treble clef.
That's right. That was for you, because you knew that. She's like, oh, treble clef. Fine. All right. So here's our treble clef and our bass clef. So we're going to take a look at the treble clef first. And we have kind of a nickname for the treble clef. We call it the G clef because the G clef, a long time ago, used to be drawn like a fancy letter G. And the reason why it's a G clef is because this circle, see how the circle in the treble clef goes around this line, the second line? This is the letter G on the keyboard. So this is where the letter G sits on a staff. So somehow this, over time, became that. So that fancy G became a treble clef, and the treble clef tells us one note. It's the secret, it's the G note, okay? If we go one step up on the staff, we go to A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So who can tell me how many letters do we have in the musical alphabet? How many letters are there in the musical alphabet? 7. It goes like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What happens after G? Is there an H? No, we just start again. There's only 7 letters in the musical alphabet. Then it goes A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. And then it just starts again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? So the musical alphabet is much easier to learn than the regular alphabet because there's not as many letters. Now, we're going to come back to ledger lines in a minute. We're not going to talk about this now. Bass clef. The bass clef is based on what used to be a fancy letter F, which looks like this. Do we all agree that that looks kind of like a fancy F? And the reason why is because the dot and these two dots of the bass clef, guess which letter this is? I thought it was really obvious. F! Thank you, one person, for participating. F. And then if we were to go up to here, this would be a G. And then up to an A, and a G, and an F. We're going to take a little bit more of a look at this in a second, but I'm just going to walk you through the whole process first, and also just so I can make this video for the people who are absent. So what we end up doing most of the time is putting both clefs into the music. Here's the treble clef, here's all the higher notes, and here's the bass clef, these are all the lower notes. And right in the center of these two clefs, we have this weird floating note that's got a harpoon through the center of it, and this is called middle C. And middle C sits in the middle of the two clefs. Okay, so I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to do a demonstration on the board that you won't be able to watch because you're not here in class. Gordon loves you.